Thank you for having me. I'm always flattered when I get invited to be a part of these trainings. I've only been with EXP for about 7 months, and so I have never felt so much warmth and love and kind of in this environment. It's amazing. I did not get this kind of attention with the mom and pop brokerage that I was at for 20 years in Austin, Texas. I was blissfully ignorant, like so many of us were. And needless to say, I wish that I would have made the move a little sooner, but the teacher appears when the student is ready, as they say. So thank you for having me. Good morning, everybody. I have been farming a community, and now I've actually doubled my farm for the past 10 years. And so, what is geo farming in as it pertains to real estate? So, we don't earn a paycheck every 2 weeks, right? I think everybody here hopefully has a few years under their belt, and so you end up on this financial roller coaster. One month you're earning 35 or 40 grand, the next month is zero. It can be very stressful, and so I was looking for a way to sort of predict an income stream. And I lived in this beautiful community. I was very blessed. Homes range from 600 to 1.5 million. And I thought, I'd be out walking the dog in the morning, and I just thought, I'm sitting on a gold mine. I've got to figure out a way to leverage the relationships that I have with the people right in my neighborhood. So I went to the lab and I kind of started developing some postcards and some letters, and I hit this kind of the sweet spot after about 2 years, I want to say. And so I'm a huge fan of metaphors, and I love to think about literally a plot of dirt. You can think of an acre, you can think of 10 acres, and you start planting seeds. And guess what happens after you plant that seed and you provide it with enough warmth and sunlight and water and nutrients? Something sprouts out of the ground. And 2 years later, there's a $40,000 apple hanging off the tree. I mean, fill in the blank. And so that's essentially what I did in a nutshell. Fast forward a little ways down the road, in the community that I farm, specifically on the west side of Austin, Texas. For those of you who know Austin, it's called Rocky Creek. And you'll see that I'm on the postcards that I'm going to share with you. By the way, I'm going to give you guys incredible information today, so please feel free to rip off and duplicate. It's one of the things that I absolutely love about EXP. Y'all are family. You have welcomed me into your world. I'm so grateful, and I have such a humble heart. I'm going to just basically share all of this stuff that I've already done, and all you've got to do are fill in the blanks and apply this to your farm. So the reason that I decided to farm was to create predictable streams of income. With that being said, in my farm in Rocky Creek, there are 400 homes. It has a boutique feel to it. I have listed and sold over 10% of the homes in that community. Several of the homes I've listed and sold more than once. So let that sink in. So all the neighbors know me there. And then when you do open houses, when you win the listings, then the neighbors are coming in and out of that community. Guess whose handsome face they're seeing? They're seeing. That would be me. So business leads to more business. So in this time of year, and I'm kind of jumping around a tiny bit, but this time of year is not the time to cruise. I remember 20 years ago when I started, I thought it's the fall. I'm going to take a trip. I'm going to get the Winnebago. I've got my license, but I have no clue what to do. The fall is the time, guys, to be planting those seeds and tilling and trimming back the branches that aren't producing fruit so that in the spring you have lots of new growth and you get those listings. All of the people who are going to be listing and moving in the springtime, February, March, April, May, which is considered peak season, that still kind of cracks me up because I think serious sellers are listing their homes in the fall. But the people are talking in the fall when family and friends are at home and gathered around the table or sitting around watching their favorite football team, and conversations are going to come up and they're going to talk about listing their home and moving in the springtime and where are we going? We're empty nesters now, going to Alabama or Arkansas or wherever your kiddos go. We've got a lot of friends and family that have gone to Alabama and Arkansas, but you want to be hustling in the fall. It's not too late now. It's a little late, but it's not too late. The seeds you plant now will yield fruit in the spring. You've got to stay top of mind with the people in your farm. And so I'm going to share my screen without further ado and walk through kind of a slideshow with you guys. So And if anyone has any questions, by the way, please feel free to speak up. I shared with Kathy and Mr. Jeff, I am not the fanciest with Zoom, but I'm an open book. So if you have a question, I guess put it in the chat. And again, I'm an open book. So 12-month farming blueprint, 100K geofarm system. The reason that I named this is because I have had several six-figure months from as a result of farming. If someone would have told me that 20 years ago, I would have thought that they had come down from a ship from another planet. I'm not making this stuff up. So if I can do it, I'm just a regular schmo. If I can do it, you can absolutely do it as well. And I'm going to give you the tools and the specific blueprint to make that happen. So a strategic, consistent blueprint for agents like yourselves looking to dominate a farm. Pick a farm. Here's the rules, guys. The home should be 5 to 7 years old. I would ideally avoid a community that has a new home builder in it because right now in Austin, Texas specifically, and you've got to keep, real estate is market specific. You don't want to be competing with the builders. The builders can roll out the red carpet and the builders are crushing it right now, particularly in Austin because and I got a home under contract this week. They paid me an extra 10,000 on top of the 3%. Go, Steve. They paid the closing costs for my client. They took 1 point off right out of the gate. Before we even started negotiating, they took a point off. So 5 to 7 year old homes, ideally a built out community, something that's close to where you currently live. So you know schools, you know where Trader Joe's is, you know where the local grocery stores are, you know this, the amenities and entertainment and all that fun stuff. That's important. And then again, the 50,000 foot view is you want to stay top of mind. You want all of the people in that community to know that you are the go-to real estate agent. You're not necessarily trying to make a new best friend. You're trying to build a business, a book of business, a stream of revenue. And so with that being said, and I'll go into some specific details that are kind of little gold nuggets, but you want to have a calendar planned out so these things are kind of plug and play. That's what I do. And it's to me, it's just a no-brainer now. And you can layer different levels of information onto your farm depending on what time of year it is. So I've created a 12-month plan. Key decision-making windows right now, we're literally in the sweet spot. I have another postcard going out right here, like this week, for a community called Provence. This is a community that's on the other side of the street from Rocky Creek. So now my farm consists of about 800 houses, guys. This is not super sexy, but this is a great example of something that your sellers are going to keep. It's one thing to say, hey, I'm Jeff, I'm Kathy. We just sold 123 Main Street. People look at that, it's going to the local landfill. And it's good, as an introduction. I live up the street. I'm the go-to real estate expert. It's an introductory kind of a card or a letter. This is a postcard that I'm sharing with you now that brings value. You definitely want to lead with value to separate yourself from other agents. We don't want any stinking thinking. We don't want you focusing on what other agents are doing. Stay in your lane and just focus on bringing value to those potential sellers. You want to be answering questions before they're asked. Imagine if you were a homeowner in that community, and if you are, fantastic. Would you appreciate something like this that says just sold? Or would you appreciate something like what I have on my screen now? Wow, sweetheart, look at this 2025 number 7 houses per month. That's crazy. I thought the market was really down. Look at the number of houses. The sales look like they're up in this community, and there are actually new homes in this community too. And look at the average list price. I mean, it's gone up about 50K. So the moral of the story with this specific card is this is something that might get tucked into a kitchen drawer or put under a magnet on the refrigerator or in someone's office on the side of a file cabinet. You've got to stay top of mind. Super important. And I'm going to move this screen around and then we'll go to the other. I'll forward up. Literally take a screen capture of this or I'll put it in the chat. As your neighborhood real estate expert, I mean, this applies to any of you in any community. As your neighborhood real estate expert. I have specific property knowledge that translates into a quicker and more lucrative sale. I'm here to help. Generic, handsome mugshot, and your contact info. That's it. This is not rocket science. I use a company called Quantum Digital, and they put these postcards together for me. On average, I know what y'all are thinking. How much does this stuff cost? I pay about $50 for a graphics person to do the layout stuff for me. You guys are probably a little more savvy with Canva than I am. But you could do this identical thing in Canva, 1000%. And then you send it to a fulfillment house. And I use a company called Quantum Digital. Something else, and again, I'm kind of bopping around here on the topics, but you, the postcard is one way to do it. And then another thing, another way to stay in front of your audience is with a letter. And let's see if I can find an example of one of these letters. What do we got here? Dominate your farm. Well, so here's an example. We'll put this up here to share with you guys more nuggets. So this is me introducing myself to Provence. This is the community again that's across the street from the farm that I've been working and tilling and babying for the past 10 years. This is new because I'm newer with EXP. I'm reaching out to introduce myself as your community real estate expert. You can take this, guys, and stick it into ChatGPT and kind of massage this however you'd like. Again, the point is to stay in front of your audience. I wouldn't be so passionate about this particular subject, and Kathy wouldn't have invited me on the call if these things that I've been doing consistently for the past 10 years didn't work. If you want consistent income per year, farm a neighborhood. It's super simple. It's going to make you a lot of money. I'm reaching out to introduce myself as your community real estate expert. I've personally listed, marketed, and sold over 40 homes in Rocky Creek. This literally is on the other side of the highway. Provence and Rocky Creek share more than proximity. They share buyer demand, price patterns, market behavior that I know inside and out. With a proven track record and hyper-local property knowledge, I'm here to help you get your home sold faster and at a higher price. I'm right up the street. I'm here to help. And then I sign it. So this is something that you guys want to take note of, and it's potentially cringeworthy, but all these letters, I literally am going to take this over to FedEx Kinko's and print out 400 of these letters. So if you have a high schooler in the house, and I only do two of these letters per year. I do one in the fall. Obviously, I'm doing an introductory one for that community. It just depends on your bandwidth and if you have helpers, because I'm literally touching each one of these envelopes, and I have some here actually. I'm touching each one of these envelopes, guys, 6 times. So it's the return address. I got this cool EXP stamp on here with my logo. It's the licking, it's the sticking, it's the stuffing of the envelope. And then I have a really cool business card. We can talk more about this. This is a magnetic poker chip. These are 60 cents each. So this kind of falls out of the envelope. This has absolutely changed my business. This is a business card that does not get thrown away. I don't care if your card is square, round, triangle, thick, thin, $1 each. This does not get thrown away. This goes in a golf bag. It goes on your fridge. It goes in the little thing where you put your change and your keys when you come home. But they get the letter, and there you go. You're off to the races. And I have a QR code on the bottom, you'll notice, so that I can track who's clicking on the letter. So this stuff is absolute gold. But I will tell you, the letter, we have jumbo postcards, we have letters, we have open houses. And again, I apologize for kind of jumping around, but this is the most time consuming and tedious. You're literally going to take a grocery bag of these letters to the post office twice per year. Highly, highly recommend, highly advise that you go and buy actual stamps, guys. This is the stuff that you just spent a lot of time and money buying these EXP envelopes and then sitting and licking and sticking and stuffing. You need to not run this stuff through a postage meter. Okay, these are things that are tried and true. These little tips that I'm sharing. You've got to go buy stamps. Take the grandkids or the kids and go to the post office and buy 400 stamps. It's actually kind of fun. And then you want to put your return address either on the back of the envelope here, ideally, or obviously where it would traditionally go. You want excuse me, you want those neighbors to know that you, Craig Bowen, whose handsome face I'm stealing there, howdy, Craig, um, that you live down the street. Anything you can do subconsciously to get in the mind and stay in the mind of that particular seller is super, super important. I mean, it's potentially worth 15 or $20,000 to you. So, moving forward.
Before you go too far, Beth asked if you'd show your letter again real fast.
Oh yeah,
Take a
1000%.
picture of that.
Yes, and I appreciate y'all speaking up. I'll throw myself on the sword a little bit, bouncing around on these screens. I can only see a few of your faces. I need to be a better zoomer.
So y'all take a picture, Beth, take a picture of that. If
Okay,
you,
there we go. Now I'm back. We have 28 people in here. I love this.
yeah.
You know what I'm going to do? I'll just put this in the chat. How about that? I can I can I can learn some stuff here. Farming masterclass. There we go. And then where's my letter? Right there. We'll put that in the chat. And I need to remember I'm still sharing my screen. So we will come back over here.
There you go. We got it.
Okay, awesome.
Cool.
We'll get rid of that. So, okay, moving forward. So six touch farming calendar. So in the spring, again, ideally, I would prefer to start my farm probably the fourth quarter of the year, the end of September, October, November, December. Those are really, really critical months. You probably want to hit that farm once a month. If you can get on the community Facebook page for that particular farm, that's really, really important as well. Again, 400 to 500 houses, guys. I wouldn't be trying to knock the leather off the ball with 2,000 homes or something unless you just have a huge budget. On average, I'm spending 5 grand or less per year on farming. That includes postage, it includes envelopes, it includes my time and energy, which is about 250 bucks an hour. So actually, I guess that would go up. But envelopes, stamps now. I remember when stamps were 28 cents a pop. Now they're like $1. It's ridiculous. And then if you want to get a fancier business card like my poker chip, my magnetic poker chip, I'm happy to share that point of contact with you as well. If you're going to start in the spring, that's fine as well. Again, the goal is to stay top of mind with the people in that community. Think about when you would ideally be moving. It's probably in the summertime or in the fall when you have the time off and the kids are not in school. I went on a listing appointment yesterday, and the woman said the last day of my children's school is May 21st. So if you're going to be starting your farm, starting to kind of plant the seeds in the springtime, and I'll give you more examples of what to share with people. That letter that I just showed you guys would be a wonderful introductory letter to let people know. And again, please don't. I'm a huge fan of Tony Robbins and Napoleon Hill and all these guys, Guy Kiyosaki. Forget about what the other agents are doing. I know what some of you are probably thinking. There's only one of you. Authenticity is your superpower. So something that you bring to the table that no one else brings is going to resonate with a particular audience. So don't worry about what Craig's doing or Kathy. Stay in your lane, bring the value, and I'll show more examples of postcards that do exactly that. Summer activity update. This is a great time to start sharing that sold information. How many homes have sold since January 1st? Average list price in this is in your farm. Average sold price. Total sales volume, it's negotiable whether or not people really care about that information. Think about answering questions and bringing value to a potential seller. What would you want to know? Do you want to see Jeff's handsome face on a postcard saying that he just sold a home, or do you want to know what your house is worth? Like we bought here 4 years ago. I mean, we see the news. You turn on the national news, it doesn't necessarily pertain to where you live in Nashville. So lead with value, get into the MLS. This brings up another point. Work with your business development person at the title company to get the addresses for your farm. I've done these podcasts a few times and I've been blessed to be on a couple calls like this. And then I forgot to share some really important basic information. This is one of the things that held me up when I started farming. Go to your business development person at the title company. They're waiting to hear from you. Ask them for the addresses for the people in your farm. Very important. I mean, extremely important. How could you do this entire call, Steve, for an hour and not tell us to get the addresses for our farm? So I'm sort of trying to lead with that right now. If you don't know how to get the addresses, ask the business development person at the title company, and they will be more than happy to send those addresses to you in the format of Avery 5160 labels. And then you just literally print them out and you start adding those labels to your lovely EXP cards. I got these through Canva, by the way, guys. Canva. And again, I would start with 400 or 500 homes, quality over quantity. So let's see, mailer. So, and here we go. Now we're getting to the good stuff. This is Rocky Creek is my farm. This is actually from 2017 to 2021. The one part of this that will be time consuming is going into your MLS, asking Siri how many days has it been since January 1st, and you only want to go back obviously 300 and whatever it would be, 343 days or something for your particular farm. And then you can do a year to date. You'll notice this says year to date postcard for your community. This is valuable information that people aren't going to throw away. Whether or not they know you as the go-to real estate expert in the community, whether or not they've seen you accidentally out on the trail with your dog or at the local mailbox cluster one morning, this is something that people will hold on to. Average number, especially when you put it in context of 5 years. And you can have you can play around with Canva and then again, just share this with your local fulfillment house. We have a company here in Austin called Quantum Digital, and they have statistics. And on average, to mail out about 400 of these cards cost me, I want to say about 75 to 80 cents each, roughly. Worth every penny. I already have 3 listings coming up on deck for Rocky Creek. I pulled one 2 weeks ago before Thanksgiving, and I'll be listing it again in the spring, and then I have 2 more coming up. So just between those 3 listings, average, we'll say on the very low conservative 15K per listing, that's 45 grand, pretty much already in the hopper for next year.
Awesome. Steve,
I
real
mean,
quick, Tim asked a question. As far as Quantum Digital, I did put the link for Quantum Digital in the chat as well, just so people could look it up. There might be, looks like they handle things everywhere. Do they do the postage? Is that all? Do they mail
yep.
everything? They do everything for you?
Yeah, and it will say or current resident. Yeah, there's little boxes you can check on that will say
Okay.
or current resident. So you don't, and then I think you'll actually end up getting a copy of that card mailed to your house as well, to your front door. You want if you have, I mean, you definitely want to keep a pile of these things. I'm gonna get the chat back up on my screen. Me and the tech, I love it. Yes, I do believe that Quantum will work with you if you're not in Austin. Yeah.
It looks like they
And
will.
yeah. And so, yes, let's see here. So moving right along, design elements. You guys can play with this and have fun. I mean, I've done all sorts of variations. This, I think, is the card that has the most staying power, which is why I chose to use it in my presentation here. But as we move forward, and then another thing too, incorporate a QR code on your postcards, guys. That's something that I started doing well, in the last 2 years, and that's how you know who's clicking on your stuff. And there's gold in the follow-up. So if you can't personally call one of those people or at least email them, then have someone on your team do it. A lot of these things can be automated now with AI. It's absolutely incredible. I'm still learning about all of this stuff. Um, so highly recommend adding a QR code. And yeah.
Mhm.
So any questions from anybody?
I think we're good. Real quick, guys, the recording of this will be up in the next couple days. Okay, so if you need to go back and catch something again, we'll try and come back. Let's go ahead and keep going, and then we'll
Okay.
come back to some of these things that people might
Yeah.
miss. Just take screenshots along the way, but the recording will be up, so you can go back through and get all of this if you're missing things. Okay.
Someone had asked for the calendar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
and
you go.
I can share all of this offline. I apologize if I'm not as polished as lots
You're
of other.
doing great, Steve.
Okay.
Appreciate
Thank you, buddy.
it. It's all good.
Who's your digital person? Sandra asked that at Quantum Digital. Do you have a specific person?
I don't have a specific person at Quantum. I actually found someone on Fiverr.com, and
To
they
the
do all
graphic.
the layout for me. It's less than $50 per card. And all I do, and that was a point that I was going to make a minute ago. The one part of this card that's time consuming is actually adding up this number right here, average sold price, because in the particular, so in Provence, for example, well, and actually here's the card right here. In Provence, for example, 107 houses have sold since January 1st. And so I had to go through 107 houses. I think you can use Manus, AI. Manus is good with data. I literally sat with my calculator and added up the sales volume and divided it by 107 to get this number, 774 for the average sold price. That's the only time consuming part of this. The rest of it is really straightforward. Average sales per month, seven. Well, you just divide the 107 total sales by the 12 months. I mean, it's pretty straightforward stuff. Again, value, value, value. Think about sending someone that the other agent isn't. Think about sending something the other agent isn't going to send. And you'll notice that, on this side of the card, it's just, hey, look at me. I'm a real estate agent. I live up the street. This is not why they're going to hang on to the card. This is why they're going to hang on to your card. And then they're going to call you. And as you continue to till that soil and add the fertilizer and the sunshine and all that fun stuff, in other words, another card and another handwritten letter, that's when you start yielding the fruit. And that's when you get that voicemail one day that says, my name's Craig and I live up the street. My wife and I are curious if you wouldn't mind coming by and looking at our house next week to kind of share your thoughts. We're thinking of listing in the spring. That's when you get excited and start doing cartwheels.
You know what stands out to me on that particular card is for 25, the prices are going up for
Well, and yeah, this is a new community. Let me see if I can find some other. I will show you guys. I'm going to give you a look. Um, let's see here, Jesse Crawford.
I mean, I would even have a card around that. Did you see prices are going up, or I'd have a line about that?
Well,
Is it
and
because it's new construction that's causing that? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, and I want to find something else real quick. I apologize. I'm sharing my messy screen with you guys, but I have a folder here that says Jesse Crawford, and she's my digital girl. So I'm going to show some other examples to you guys. You literally are getting a look behind the curtain. So this is similar to the last one, 2020, 2021, 22, 23, 24. You've got to go back. I keep it limited to 5 data points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sales per month, homes sold, average days on market. We chose these colors for kind of my logo and my branding. That was years ago, back in 2019. It's just kind of, you can do whatever you'd like to do. Total sales volume. Pick and choose what you want to do, guys. Play with ChatGPT or Perplexity and see if you can, manipulate this a little bit, or Canva, I suppose. But again, the 50,000-foot view, people are going to hold on to this. That's it.
Good.
Yeah. So,
And guys, just so you know, Canva is a great. I mean, again, we have it, and there's lots of Canva classes going on. That it's once you learn it, it's simple to use. It took me a while that first thing I did, but after a while now I can go in there and click, click, click. It's done. There's templates. It's really pretty simple. You could take something like that and make it yourself if you want. You know what I mean? Just know that it's there. The training is there. Just go in and find this stuff.
you've got it. Yeah, you've got to get plugged in. That is one thing that I've learned real quickly with EXP. If you just go to EXP Toolkit, get ready to be blown away. This is an older card that I sent out, different format. I did this way back in the day. That's my old headshot. Homes in Rocky Creek have never been more desirable. Property values continue to rise. Inventory's low. Considering a move as your neighborhood RE broker, I have unique and specific property knowledge that translates to an efficient and lucrative sale. On average, the homes I've listed in Rocky Creek have sold for about 135K over asking price. Don't we miss those days? Wow. I'm right up the street and I'm here to help. So, I mean, if you want to earn an extra 50,000 bucks next year, or definitely in the spring of 27, you need to start farming. This needs to be like brushing your teeth. You only have to pay attention to this once every 3 months. If and once you once you start seeing the buds on the vine, that will be the inspiration and the catalyst for you to start mailing out 6 things per year or 7. And it's actually fun because well, it's gonna change your life in terms of your finances. I'm gonna show you guys another couple examples of different formats of cards. Your Rocky Creek Realtor, home sales by Steve since January 1st, 2021. And you guys can do screen captures if you'd like, or just, and by the way, I'm on Instagram at Steve Sells Austin. I'm happy to share all this stuff if you guys want to message me at Steve Sells Austin. Homes listed and sold. This one isn't as sexy as the other ones, in my opinion, but Jessie, my graphics person, she kind of came up with this. I like infographics. People can digest pictures. 980, I mean, the average, yeah, people can digest pictures. 989 average sales price, average sold price, volume, yada, 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 average days from contract, from
Is
list.
Jesse your person over at Fiverr?
Pardon?
At
Do you,
Fiverr? Is that who Jesse is? I don't like to
no,
retrain my
Jesse,
Fiverr people. Do you have a Fiverr person specific? What's their handle there?
it's Rita. Her name is Rita, and I will share it with you sort of off the call if that's okay.
Okay.
Because again, I don't want to click around and flounder on this. I have a tendency to do that. Um, yeah, where were we? There we are. Okay. So jumbo infographic postcard content, obviously, we want to bring the value to your people. I think for your first, should you mail a letter or a postcard first? I would probably mail a letter out to introduce yourself with some kind of contact info. And then within no longer than about 6 weeks, I would be putting something else in the mail to those people. A lot of folks are fans of the football college calendar, magnets, things like that. I'm okay with that also, guys. Again, moral of the story, stay in front of your people. This needs to be implemented into your marketing strategy, just like doing an open house. It's actually more important. You've just got to put this on your calendar, January, February, March. So April 1, handwritten cards going out to my audience. And then in the middle of June, year to date sales data to my farm. And I'll share this whole calendar with you guys. And then this is an example of something that I would mail in June. This just keeps you, again, staying top of mind. It also shows you that, hey, this Steve guy is legit. He's actually selling a lot of homes. This one I sold twice. This was our old next door neighbor's house. Listed and sold that home twice. This shows that you're hustling and that you're actually doing stuff. One other thing to keep in mind, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, business leads to more business. So as you are cultivating your farm and you're winning listings and you're holding those homes open, all of this compounds and kind of snowballs. So now you have neighbors that are driving in and out of that community. Not only are they getting your letter and your postcards in the mail, but they're also seeing your signs for doing open houses over the weekends. Then they're connecting the dots. And they're thinking, this Steve guy, didn't we just get a piece of mail from him the other day? And then you're hosting that sock drive for the local, homeless shelter. And all of this creates this symbiosis, and it's just incredible how it will build your business. So by June 1st, the spring market's in full swing. Perfect time to showcase your success and market expertise. Keep in mind that this process may take up to around 18 months. And if you want some inspiration and motivation, just reach out to me. I will motivate you and fire you up all day long. So you've got to stick with it. You would never go and buy 10 acres and plant a bunch of soybeans and then disappear to Canada. You have to stay there and till the soil and take care of your farm in order to yield some fruit, guys, which in this case, those are listings. So just sold postcard. This is just one example. Get creative, get fun. Again, there's only one Craig Bowen. So people are going to appreciate the things that you share with them as long as it pertains to real estate. And maybe one football calendar or something, but and people love their pumpkin spice latte recipes and all that stuff. I've heard all kinds of things about farming. So we'll keep on trucking here. Thinking of selling postcard. This is another way again to stay top of mind. I wanted this to have more of a luxury feel to it. Steve's strategic approach to selling our home made all the difference. So we've included a testimonial in here that's on the other side of the postcard. His pre-listing recommendations helped us get 27,000 above asking price with multiple offers in just 4 days on the market. Obviously, that depends on the market. Right now in Austin, we have 130% more sellers than buyers in Austin, Texas right now. It's one of the hottest markets in the country. So by August 1st, you've established a presence in your community. Hopefully you have. If you are like me and you stick with things, persistence is gold. So you've got to stay in front of the audience. It's a third mailer, arrives at just the perfect time when homeowners might be considering their options as summer winds down and the fall market approaches. Some people actually prefer to list their home in the fall, believe it or not. The more serious buyers are out in the fall. A lot of people say, well, shouldn't we wait until March 1st? It just depends, how valuable is your time and how much competition do you want? There's nothing necessarily wrong with listing your home, in September. It just depends on your life. I think it's diapers, divorce, death. There's a fourth one, but at any rate, Tony would be laughing at me right now. So, and again, guys, we'll share this with you. I'm kind of bopping through here, but get in front of your typical fall inventory surge, less competition, potentially more interested buyers, more serious buyers in the fall for sure. For those of you who are doing lots of open houses, you know about this. So October 15th, we're kind of catching up with where we are now in the year. Fall is officially here. Time to enjoy cooler weather, plenty of football, holiday parties with family and friends. With that in mind, and as your neighborhood broker, I'm reaching out to ask for your business. Interest rates are dropping, and thank goodness the election's almost behind us. Of course, this was back prior to Trump taking office. 2025 is going to be a banner year in Austin. You're not trying to make new best friends here with these letters, guys. You're just trying to win business. So R&D. Mid-October marks a shift in your farming strategy. What's the other point that I wanted to make? Keep in mind the personalized touches with these letters. You want this to be as not as robotic as the postcard. Obviously, this is going to have a different feel when it shows up in the mailbox versus this. Completely different feel. So you do have to hand sign every one of the cards. It's actually fun. And again, I get these cards from Canva, but I've got these wonderful EXP cards, and then you can get your contact information in the corner. I don't know how this is not working, but at any rate, I've got my contact information down here. Super easy, not expensive. This is an alternate to the letter. So you've got all kinds of different ways. I host a fundraiser every year, guys, called the Caboose Cup for colon cancer to raise money and awareness for early detection of colon cancer. My mom had colon cancer. She's fine and well, praise God. This is another wonderful reason to reach out to your farm. It has nothing to do with asking to buyers to help somebody sell their home, but it's another touch point. There's a company in Florida that I used for these. They actually went bankrupt, but this is a card written by a computer with a pen. It basically comes from a fulfillment house with a QR code down here. And it essentially says, calling all golfers, Steve's fourth annual Caboose Cup fundraiser is happening on September, yada, yada, yada. Scan the QR code to register today. Let's beat cancer one birdie at a time. This is another example of a way for you to stay in front of your audience. If you're not farming a particular community, and I would be curious to know how many of you are or aren't farming, why aren't you? And what sort of stuff are you making up in your head about, what kind of limiting beliefs do you have about farming? Because it looks like we have about 17 minutes. And the name of this company, someone had asked in the chat, to be honest with you, I can't remember. I know that they had 1,200 of my dollars when they went out of business, but I had to mail them a bunch of my poker chip business cards, and then they literally handle everything. They would do stamps on the card, no postage meter stuff. The computer, and there are alternates to this, so you just have to ask Google. These are probably about $1.60 each, but I mean, they look incredible. And there are companies that are still doing this. And once you start winning listings in your farm, this cost, and it's a tax write-off for goodness sakes, this all of a sudden the ROI on these things is incredible. So I wouldn't necessarily sweat the cost. You're only going to do this maybe once per year if you are hosting events like me. I love to bring people together. We all have a particular skill set, things that we are good at excuse me, things that we're really proficient at. I've got 12 people in my little organization just after 7 months. I love to bring people together and host events. I do another thing in the spring and the fall called Pups and Pints, and we can talk more about that, guys. It's a free pint of beer, a free professional photo with you and your dog. And then, of course, there's not really an agenda other than bringing people together. It's another reason, another way to expand your farm. So going forward, opening personalization, value first, authentic voice. This is really, really important. Keep in mind, you don't want your mailers to look like they came from a computer necessarily. October represents a critical transition in your relationship with the farm. So if you all implement these things, guys, by the spring of 27, which may seem far off, it is not. You will absolutely, I guarantee, get one or two, if not more, listings in your particular farm. I mean, guaranteed. I would bet my leg on it. October letter represents a critical transition. After 3 postcards have been mailed, your presence and expertise is now getting established with these people. They're starting to know your face, especially if you're doing open houses, especially if you're hosting some sort of an event in the neighborhood, a fall get together, something along those lines. This is the perfect timing that aligns with when many homeowners start thinking about the following year's plans. Hopefully that goes without saying for those of you who've been in the business for a while. Mailer number 5, November 1st. This is when, again, you are bringing the value to these people and you're staying top of mind. Not a ton of activity in November in terms of home sales, unless you're serious and somebody took that new job and they just had to leave. We still have a lot of inventory in Austin, Texas, but so RE market snapshot. As November begins, your farming strategy enters a critical phase where consistent efforts begin yielding results. This is when things get exciting because you know that people are getting together, gathering around the table, watching the football games, and they're talking about potentially listing and selling. And you may actually get some calls from people. This has happened to me, I don't know, at least a dozen times actually, where people are thinking about listing in the spring and they, on average, are buying and selling a home 3 to 5 times in their life. So they don't know if it's too soon to talk to you in November or December about listing in March or April. Whereas you might think it's a little premature for us to get together, but of course, you're going to be happy to go win that listing in the fall, and that creates predictable income in the spring. So, call to action is fantastic on your cards or your letters, of course, always. That's what the QR code is all about. You want to make sure these people can reach out to you in many different ways. They also make QR code stickers, guys, or stamps. So keep that in mind. I've got sheets of these QR code stickers, and it's wonderful. So check in your local area to see who does that for you. But the sticker is awesome. It doesn't have to be, and this is just a sticker. So you can put it wherever you like, which is it's pretty slick. That can either go to your link tree or it can go back to a specific landing page. Okay, mailer number 6, December. Now we're kind of getting caught up with, I guess that's actually tomorrow. Holiday gratitude letter or card. This is low-hanging fruit. These should be very, very easy for you. Go into ChatGPT and ask how you can populate this. EXP has all sorts of branding information, and you can stick your fancy logo there. You could put your headshot. You can do all this stuff. This was just kind of a filler thing that I put in here. Final touch point in your farming arrives during the holidays. I like to do a year-to-date card. This is the one that I just recently did over here, just to let people know that you are paying attention and we're wrapping up the year. This is how we're ending the year on a strong note. The timing ensures delivery before peak holiday rush when your message might otherwise get lost. If you're sending something that is valuable to these people, your message isn't going to get lost. Worst case scenario, it goes into a kitchen drawer and they hold on to it and then they call you, at the end of January, early February. I think that actually might be kind of late for those of you who are predominantly listing agents like myself. Focus your content on genuine seasonal appreciation rather than overt marketing. You can throw something in here in the holidays, especially about, some sort of a pumpkin bread recipe or something. I know a lot of people love that stuff. That would go on the back of your postcard. I have heard stories. I mean, there's flavors for everybody, but I have heard stories about people holding on to postcards because they just love getting those recipes every month from that one agent. And that's not my particular specialty, sending out stuff like that. But if it works and it gets you listings, then go for it. Um, so that's it. Include a small useful gift like a refrigerator calendar, add a QR code to the year end review, 1000%. Something else, guys, that a little off topic, but it's still relevant. Instead of texting someone like Kathy or Jeff, shoot them a video text. If you get someone who scanned a QR code and they just expressed even a little bit of interest, but they didn't email you, that you can tell that they're looking, and then you take it a step further and you go in your local appraisal district and you can see that they bought their home 7 years ago, and you're kind of getting a vibe from this particular person that they might want to be selling in the spring, and they did look at what you sent, because you can see on the QR code. Then send them a video message real quick and just tell them you're thinking about them. Hey Jeff, how's it going? I noticed that you clicked on my QR code the other day. I'm just reaching out to say happy holidays. I'm here for you if I can help in any way, shape, or form with help you make your decision in the spring. I'm here for you, as opposed to a two-dimensional text message or an email. Video texts have changed my business also, just like these little magnetic poker chips. It's the small stuff that you wouldn't think of. When somebody opens a text message and there's a 20-second video from Jeff, it's very, very different than a normal text that just gets deleted. And I'm just sharing this stuff with you guys because it works. Canva, Quantum, ChatGPT. I use all of these pretty much every day. This one maybe once a week. Implementing an effective farming system requires more than just strategy. It requires consistency. So if you have the plan to do this for 6 or 8 months, or you're worried about the cost, you got to put all that stuff, leave all that stuff outside the office. You've got to do this every 6 weeks. You've got to be hitting your farm. Super important and super easy. And the ROI, again, is through the roof. Having tested numerous platforms and services over the years of farming, these are the specific places that I use that have been very, very helpful for me. Cost share partners. If you want to partner with a local lender, and you guys probably have heard this a dozen times as well, title company, lenders, they have a budget to help you, staying within RESPA guidelines, of course. But I partner with 2 local lenders. I also have a wonderful relationship with someone at Austin Title. She loves throwing money at me, and all obviously legally speaking. But you can co-brand these postcards and things. It's super, super simple to put someone else's kind of handsome face on the bottom of here as well, and co-brand the cost. So you've just cut the cost of your $400 postcard every 6 weeks by half. So food for thought, and it's a write-off too, by the way. March 1st, QR code scans, response, listings generated. June 1st, phone calls. This number needs to be a lot higher. I'm doing, by the way, just so you guys know, I do 5 handwritten cards every day, every single day, like clockwork. Every morning I get up and do this, unless I'm traveling or something. 5 of these cards a day. This one says, reaching out to share a heartfelt thank you for your loyalty, trust, and continued support. Your referrals and past business mean the world to me, and I'm truly grateful to be your go-to resource in real estate. It's been an honor to serve you. Let's keep building something great together. I keep a stack of these on my desk, and this camera, anyway, I'll send this to you guys. At any rate, it's an EXP card. Some of these say thank you, some just say EXP on them. It does have my contact info on here. This is another generic way to hit your people. There's no excuses. I do 5 of those every single day to my sphere, not to my farm, to my sphere. And then I make 10 calls a day. My dad started me doing that 18 months ago, and talk about a business changer. 10 calls takes me less than an hour. I usually do the calls when I'm driving. But hey, Jeff, how's it going? It's been 2 years since we talked. How's the family? How's your house? Again, we're kind of getting off topic a little, but that will, yeah, you got to do all of these things in combination. Co-branded letters. Remember that technology should simplify your farming strategy. The other thing to think about too, once you guys mail these cards out and you go through this per year, all of this stuff is plug and play. So you just change the graphics, change your logo if you'd like, maybe change a couple little things, change a little bit of the verbiage. and you're off to the races. So every single year it's something similar. And you're value adding by throwing little things like this into the mix. Or if you want to host an event, you always have a reason to hit your people. Absolute no-brainer. Select a neighborhood that's 350 to 750 homes. I honestly wouldn't do more than about 500 or 600 houses, guys. You're going to end up getting a lot of the letters back in the mail potentially, sometimes the postcards in particular. 5 to 7 years old. You don't necessarily want homes that you don't know. If you're trying to get into the luxury market, I wouldn't be farming a community that's gated and the homes are 5 million bucks a pop if that's not your sweet spot. If it is, then farm those communities as well. Mark all 6 mailing dates on your calendar. No brainer. You can do that now. December is the perfect time to do it. What do we got here? Pro tip, don't wait until you're ready. The consistency is what makes this work. I can't tell you how many people that I've talked to after a class like this, and 3 or 4 months from now, it's kind of like going to Gold's Gym in January and then going back in March. You know exactly how that environment's going to look. You've really got to stick with this. Don't overthink it. If you want consistent income every year, this is the simplest path to it. And I will literally give you the things to mail out. You just fill in your face and your detailed information. That's it. The most successful geographic farming campaigns share one critical attribute, consistency. I mean, that's the one thing I would leave you guys with is, and especially when you have someone like me who's willing to show you exactly what to mail and when to mail it. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. You're not going to break the bank, but you do have to pay to play. It costs a little bit of money. And with EXP, that they've just rolled out the red carpet for us with Canva Pro, I would venture to guess that a lot of you are a little more talented in Canva than I am. There's just no excuses. Submit your design to your chosen print house. Yeah, they're not going to mail it and probably for about a week after you give it to them. The postcards are the easiest things to do. The letter is the most time consuming. That's why I only do 1 or 2 letters per year. And then you've got to follow up with these people. It's potentially worth 15 or 20 grand. You absolutely have to follow up with a warm lead. So I hope that this has been super helpful for you guys. I know I kind of bop around. It's 10:56. I just want to make sure that I know I've kind of talked a
Great.
lot.
Yeah, thank you so much, Steve. Would you be willing to share your slide deck with me to
1000%.
okay, perfect. And then we'll put it with the training. And so and then Steve, Tim had a question, but before we get to that, one thing that I kept thinking through this whole presentation is like if you had a YouTube channel, like or
Yep.
start a YouTube channel simultaneously for the area, not just the neighborhood, but the area, right? And then every month maybe you had your highlight of your house, like of your one of your listings, you get to highlight it, in your YouTube channel, but then also all the places around to eat, all the fun things to do in the area, like and then have your YouTube, channel linked on your postcards each month or your mailings each time you do them. I think, can even doubly enhance. So just an idea to add on with, for the people that are listening here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, can you stop sharing your stop sharing your screen for just a
Yes,
second?
sir. Yes, sir.
We're done with
Got
that.
it.
Cool. Can
Yeah.
you
Well,
show the poker chip?
yeah, Tim, I
Yeah,
was
see
wanting
it.
to see that. Yep,
Yeah.
that's what I was going to next.
So
Just
I
see.
have a stack of these. They're magnetic.
Okay.
So these are about 60 cents each. I am shocked, Jeff, at the number of people who take this. They all have the identical reaction. They say, "Man, that's so cool. I've passed out, I don't even know how many of these, about 2,500 in the last 3 years." Everyone without fail, whether they're tired or awake or at a conference or at dinner, they have the same reaction. That is so cool. Oh my gosh. And again, best case scenario, it goes on the fridge. Worst case scenario, it goes in your little change jar where you throw your keys when you walk home after a long day, when you come in from the garage, or in someone's golf bag. This has a QR code on it. It says EXP. It's got my email and it goes to my link tree. So
Okay.
there's a trillion ways that and I can modify, of course, what's on the other end of the QR code.
Yeah.
This is a company out of San Diego. I've gotten a lot of free chips now because I have referred a few people to my friend Mike in San Diego. But this is a no-brainer. If you go to mail this, keep in mind you will have to spend a tiny bit extra in terms of postage. I learned that lesson the hard way, guys. I'm going to save you a lot of time and one trip to the post office. You'll be leaving with your tail tucked. I went to the post office one time with 470 letters that I had spent 3 weeks messing with, licking, sticking, stamping, return addressing, the whole nine. And I was so thrilled that I made a video and everything. I'm finally going to mail out all these letters. And the lady looks at me and she said, "What's inside each envelope? You're going to need extra postage." And she didn't have the appropriate postage. And I had to go back 4 days later and actually mail them all out. This kind of falls out of that envelope. It's got weight to it. You want your mail to get opened. This isn't junk mail. This is stuff, this is potentially one of these cards. Think about 15,000 bucks. That's what one of these cards is worth. And when you get on the other side of cultivating your farm and growing the proverbial pumpkin, whatever, fill in the blank, you will see how why I'm so passionate about farming and why. And now recently I've just expanded my farm. So I have friends that live in Provence, and of course I have lots of friends in Rocky Creek also.
Tim made the point
Been
of
mentioned in the
lumping.
chat,
Yeah.
like, yeah, lumping mail, yeah, is really always valuable to send because
It's
people
I
are
a
mean,
curious. They're like, what's
well,
in this?
yeah, one thing, I mean, they're going to hold on to it. Even if they have no interest, even if they don't like you. They saw you out on the golf course one day and they just think this guy Steve, he's a bonehead, I don't know. It's still going to stay in a drawer somewhere. And then when it comes time to think about listing their home, they're going to be digging through the drawer looking for your card. It's memorable. It separates you from everyone else. You've got to do things that separate you from the competition. It's not that difficult to rise above all the noise from what other people are doing. First thing is first, authenticity. So when Kathy talks about a YouTube channel, I mean, talk about gold. Look at Levi Lassick in Dallas, in Frisco. I mean, Levi and Travis, those guys are amazing. I actually have relocating to Austin, and I'll be building that channel out in the springtime with Levi's help. And so I'm absolutely going to be doing that. I love making videos. All these things come together, and you kind of get into alignment, and your business is just going to take off. And you'll think I've been chipping away at this stone for 2 years, and it just seems like it's been so challenging. Next thing you know, you have 6 listings and you got 3 buyers, and it'll absolutely change the trajectory of your business, which is fantastic. So
One thing that I would
Yeah.
just touch on real fast. I mean, I think you mentioned the QR code. I think QR code, unique domain names. I learned early on to track things. You could send out the postcard, have half of them with one domain name, have half of them with another, and just see which domain name pulls more. And now I learned like, okay, that one got 70% more hits. Then I just need to double down on that one next time. Like that, there's things you'll learn along the way, and the QR code, like absolutely a great way just to track your business, so you're not just the shotgun stuff. You can hone in more and be more
yeah, I
productive
mean,
with it.
think about how it would feel if we all had a crystal ball and you knew that you mailed out 300 high quality, really well thought out, articulate postcards with a lot of value on them, and you knew you were going to get 4 listings from mailing, and you just knew unequivocally 100% you're getting 4 listings versus mailing out a stack of junk mail. You got to put some heart into it. These things work, otherwise we wouldn't be having a call like this. And so when it comes to tracking, that's super. That's just incredible gold. I use a company called Constant Contact. Please keep in mind, again, I'm new to EXP. We probably have something in Lofty or Go High Level that will track this stuff. I am a people person versus being super technologically savvy, but you can separate your lists. So when I mail things out with that particular QR code and someone clicks on it, I have segmented lists in Constant Contact. I think it's I think it's MailChimp and Constant Contact. I use Constant Contact. So if I'm going to mail something out or email, it'll go to a particular list. So if someone clicked on that QR code, I can email those people to follow up, those people specifically, Jeff, Melanie, Tim, and Kathy. And so you can track what's working and what isn't working. And then, it's time and energy in, and you're going to get back what you put into your business. And so I love to inspire and motivate people. I'm just a regular person. A 6-figure month, that moves the needle.
Mhm.
That means no debt. That means vacation. That means I'm going to Cabo in the spring with Brent. That means, no, I mean, this stuff works.
For
Yeah,
sure.
so good.
So
Would you mind sending a picture of the front and back of with the slides of your poker chip? just so people can see the actual,
Yes.
actual.
I don't know how to do that super quickly,
Well,
but
even
if
if you just take a picture and text it to me, that would work too, and
yeah,
then
well, so
out.
it's logo, the name of the company, and I would love to get a little credit for sharing the info, but
Yeah.
the name of the company is Logo Golf Chips, but I really would prefer if y'all just want to message me on Instagram, it's just Steve Sells Austin at Steve Sells
Yeah,
Austin.
and then you can connect us, and then if they give you some credit for,
Yeah.
any
Yeah,
of us that
Mike,
order,
it's
then for sure.
just a gentleman named Mike. I'm sending this to you right now, Kathy. There you
Yeah.
go. And they come
Yeah,
in red. They come in red, black, green, blue. I'm happy actually to see that some of you are having an interest in the poker chip because it's such a
Mhm.
small, it can be one little thing. And I walk around, I never leave the house without these. I've been at gas stations, I'm at the YMCA. I got out of the pool the other day, and because I was wearing a little pair of Speedo, I swim laps. I didn't have a poker chip on me.
Mhm.
But I went in my locker and got the gentleman I was swimming next to a poker chip. And I said, I'm going to go grab a business card for you. You're going to love this. I've passed these out in the sauna. I like to do cold plunging and sauning, and I've passed these out. It's the little things that add up. So if y'all
So
have
good.
questions, I see some people kind of scooching on with their day. Please
Yeah.
message me. And Kathy and Jeff, I consider you guys good friends now. So
Mhm.
anything I can do to share this stuff with you, I know I kind of hopped around a little.
Great
I'm an
stuff.
open I'm an open book.
Yes.
I've got videos and farming and letters and postcards and all that stuff,
Yeah.
templates.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this. I'll send you a copy of the recording. And hey, just FYI, if you haven't, I don't know if you're planning on investing in Levi's program, but
Yep.
one of our Freedom Team leaders has taken Levi's program and Mike Sherrard's program and
Yep.
created a YouTube program for probably 1/10 of the cost of what they charge. So,
Nice.
um, just if you
It's
want
excellent.
his information, let me know. It's an excellent program. Like you said, he took both of theirs. He does his whole business is built on YouTube. He's in Gulf Shores, Alabama. So um, literally has a fantastic program. So anyway, I didn't know if you were going to invest in Levi's or if you haven't, but um,
I haven't yet. I've seen those guys so many times, and I consider Levi to be kind of a personal friend now. But I haven't paid them any money.
yeah.
I downloaded Passive Prospecting, which is his program, and
Hmm.
I've implemented a lot of the strategies. I think a lot of people are afraid to be in front of a camera. That's not my issue at all.
Hmm.
It's the content and it's the management of like be careful what you wish for when those leads start coming in. Then what do you
Yeah.
do? I think
Yeah.
those guys make the dream team. I just, for me specifically, I think I'm to the point now where I'm growing and you have some growing pains. So I need to either add some VAs to my workforce or just sync up with someone that understands the tech side of the biz. That's where I
Yeah.
could use.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
if you
don't
want
mind.
me to connect you with Andy, happy to. Just let me know anytime. But thank you so much for being here today. This has been amazing.
Kathy, can I throw out one more thing just real fast, you guys, for
Yeah.
everybody? I think like when Steve hit this, guys, now is the time to work on this stuff. It kind of slows down. Now is the time to get on this. I mean, you have a little extra time right now, most likely, most of us. We're going to the holidays. And I know the tendency, I get it. Just pull back, just kick back. It's whatever. And, take some time and work on your business. You could get this entire program set up over the next couple of weeks and be ready to roll for 2026. Yeah, and just have it in place. So now it's just in your calendar, in your schedule. You get everything done, other than going in like in June and actually customizing that postcard with the stats, for the first half of the year. You could have it laid out. So it's not this big thing. Now is the time to do this. Now is the time to ramp up your social media posts and your marketing. And, mind share equals market share. We talk about this because as every other realtor pulls back, I've always done the opposite. I learned this with Craig Proctor.
Yes.
Do the opposite of what everybody else does. We've had for me and my wife, my team, we've had huge Januaries, Februarys over the years because I just ramped it up come October, November, December. Everybody else is pulling back. I doubled down on my marketing. And those have been some of our biggest months of the year when everybody else is hoping their business starts taking off, and it does in March and April and May, whatever, but you can capitalize on it right now. Ramp up your social media, ramp up your anything you're doing to get it out there who you are and just different things. It doesn't have to be real estate posts. all the things going on with, Christmas and the AI stuff we've learned and stuff going on in town this weekend for the families. And but you be that person. You can email that to your sphere, different things you can do to capture more mind share, which will lead to more market share. And now's the time to ramp it up as everybody else pulls back. So I just want to put that out there because you can have a great January, February, especially can really start picking up. I do think this market's going to turn. I think we're going to see some big things happen in 2026. I think the first quarter is going to really start kicking things into gear. And now is the time to get ready for that. Be out there sitting in the ocean on your surfboard waiting for the wave, not, going out there after everybody's rode the wave in and now you're trying to catch the wave. That's what most realtors will do. Okay, 95% of them. So
you've got to be willing to put in the time and energy in order to grow your business. There's no two ways about it. I wish somebody would have taught me this stuff when I was in the business, like the first 3 years. I remember doing a lot of golfing after I got my license. I thought, what do I do? How am I going to help somebody sell $1 million house? No one knows that I'm an agent. And I mean, you got to get out of your own way. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the business. And there's a reason that 7 out of 10 agents get out of the business after 2 or 3 years. One other kind of final point, we've got to also remember, guys, over 100,000 people have left the business. Now is an incredible time to be quadrupling down on your marketing and to be letting everybody know, hey, my name's Tim, my name's Xavier, Alyssa, Michael. I'm still here. I'm still helping people buy and sell homes. If you need some assistance, I'm right up the street. It's not going to cost you a penny to open up to begin a little dialogue with me. I've been doing this 20 years. Let's talk. Lead with value. It's real important.
Out here on the grind, chasing dreams in the sun, from the Gulf to the hills, yeah, we're getting